let's just face it, the meta right now is so unbalanced. Because of that, today I'm gonna suggest a couple balance changes that I would appreciate they to come as fast as possible to the game. If you have any ideas or disagree with a couple of the changes, write in the comments down below, I will read them. And let's start with the biggest problem, Pink Fury. There's just no excuse, she's the strongest hero right now in the game. And to start off, I just want her initial energy to be completely removed. I don't want her to kill literally the first minion that appears in her face. It's just way too OP. Secondly, I don't know if you noticed, but all of her promotions only cost 2 elixir, and she is no different from the other heroes, and because of that I would really like if her promotions would cost instead 4 elixir. Besides that, I would also appreciate a nerf to the first promotion. Instead of being 10 attack speed buff and 8 and 5 movement speed, I would appreciate if it was 8 and 4. Just make her a bit more balanced with the other upgrades. Next on the hero nerfs we have Grand Warden and his first promotion, the Shield Rage. I just want, instead of giving 30% attack and movement speed buff, it just be 20. Honestly, 30% is just way too strong and it just makes the other promotions useless. So just decrease that a little bit because all of the wizards are pretty broken right now. And now for the only hero that I think needs a buff, we have Shield Maiden. Honestly, all of her promotions are quite alright, except for the last one. That one, it is completely useless. But what I would appreciate is that her energy cost should be decreased from 10 to 9, and her initial energy should be increased from 1 to 3. This would help her a lot to cycle her supers, and that is exactly the thing that I feel like she's missing. Back then she used to cycle her super so much and now she doesn't, and that should help her out. Now let's go to the synergies, which are a very important part of Clash Mid right now, and there are two in particular that desperately needs a nerf. To start off, we have the Meg synergy, and I want her Meg plus 50% damage to be reduced to 34% more damage. What does that mean? If you deal 1 damage, you still deal 1 damage, but if you deal 2 damage, you deal 3 damage. And this would also apply to their abilities. I just feel like all of the wizards just deal way too much damage. It's just way too much. Wizards should be about the abilities and not the damage so much. So this should make them all a bit more balanced. Next we have the Elixir synergy, and it's not that the Elixir synergy is broken, no, it's not by any means, but I am already preparing myself because when the Elixir Golem comes to all of us, like it will be easy for everyone to get it, it will just be crazy. So nerf it has a preparation from plus 2 elixir per round to plus 1 elixir, just to not break the game when the Elixir Golem comes. Now starting with the minis, we have Barbarian. I have 2 buff ideas for the Barbarian. Either his HP is increased from 12 to 18, or make so that his passive does not reset whenever Barbarian heals. In case you haven't noticed, whenever the Barbarian is like half HP and he heals, he actually loses attack speed. So either they remove it so that Barbarian is actually good with healers, or they just increase his HP. Either one of those buffs would work very well. For the Spear Goblin, I want his clash damage to be increased from 10 to 15, and his first upgrade as well, so in total damage, 30 damage, to make his clash actually good. For the Dagger Goblin, I want his passive to last 1.5 seconds. It doesn't matter how great the attack speed buff is, it doesn't matter if it only lasts for 1 second. And they also nerf his stats, and I would really appreciate if its damage was increased back to 4 damage, because the Dagger is pretty horrible right now. For the Guard, I want to see his base HP be increased from 15 all the way to 18. I want to see his Clash Shield be increased from 8 all the way to 12, and his first upgrade going from plus 4 shield to plus 8 shield. The Guard needs this buff, otherwise he can't even be a decent tank in the game. The Dagger Thrower is one of the newest minis in the game, and he started with the left foot, let's just say that. I want his base attack speed to be increased from 0.6 to 0.7, and his upgrade being from plus 0.1 to plus 0.15, so that he can cycle that 2 times damage a lot faster. For the Bowler, I want his HP to be increased from 18 to 20, and his damage from 3 to 4. Honestly, the bowler relies way too much on his clash, and I just feel like that should not be the case because he's a 3 elixir, and these buffs should help him out. For the Golden Giant, by the way, I really do not like his remodel. I want that his third promotion gives him block for those 3 seconds as well. That's how it used to be, it got nerfed, but with so many great and powerful tanks, I feel like he really needs that block to shine a little bit, because otherwise he can just be countered by anti-heals way too easily. Now, for probably the strongest mini in Clash Mini right now, we have the Wizard, and his energy cost should be increased from 3 to 4, and his initial energy should be deleted. Honestly, his super is just way too strong. With the Make Synergy, he can deal 24 damage. With just 3 energy costs, way too strong. Nerf the damage or increase the energy costs. Next we have Wizard Super but has a KO. Yes, it is that hard. Giant Skeleton, I want his base HP being increased from 20 to 30 and his HP per upgrade being increased from 5 to 10. His base bomb damage should be increased from 10 to 15 and instead of being surrounding enemies it will already be nearby enemies. So the third upgrade would be baseline surrounding by. His bonus damage will be from plus 10 to plus 15 as well, so 30 damage in total, and his bonus stun should be increased from plus 2 seconds stun to plus 2 seconds and a half. His third upgrade would make so that the bomb would explode the whole 2x2 square. His KO should be terrifying, and it just isn't, so these buffs should help him out. This next mini is a bit different. The Villager, I want a bit of a rework. Instead of giving 50% attack speed, because actually it doesn't give speed or movement, I just want her passive to give to the hero Rage. So 30% attack speed and movement speed, instead of just being 50% attack speed. I feel like it would be a very interesting rework and it would also nerf it down just a tiny bit because I feel like the Villager overall, it is quite to the stronger side. For the Dart Goblin, I want to see his first upgrade go from infinite range to infinite stacking of bonus attack speed, like how it used to be. I loved it, kinda, when he would just go nuts on the attacks and he would just kill everyone. And infinite range with no infinite attack speed, it is very, very boring. For the Giant, I want to see his passive being changed from plus 15 HP per round to plus 12 HP per round. I just feel like because the Giant is also a pretty decent damage dealer, his HP of his passive should be at least slightly reduced because the Giant is great with pretty much all the stars or with none. You can play him so well and he's so versatile as long as you play him in the first round. So this should nerf him down just a little bit and convince you more to upgrade him as well. For the Ice Wizard, I just want to see his super damage being reduced from 4 to 3. In case you haven't thought about it a lot, because his energy cost it's only 1, his DPS it's actually really good because he deals 1 damage and then 4 damage, 1 damage and then 4 damage. That is really good. And on top of that, I want to see his attack speed per upgrade being reduced from plus 0.1 to plus 0.05. For the Electro Wizard, I just want to see his base damage being reduced from 2 to 1. Again, that sort of idea. The Wizard should be about their abilities and not so much about damage, and nerfing his base damage should balance him out. For the Diffuser, I know new mini and I love him, but his Disarm ability needs a small nerf. I want to see the Disarm, instead of being every 3 hits, to be every 4 hits, because the Diffuser by himself, he can completely counter every single long range mini in the game, as long as there is nothing else attacking him, of course, but you can understand why this needs to be fixed so that it doesn't become crazy broken in that particularly combination. For the Witch, I have a very interesting idea. Start off, I want her base HP to be increased from 18 to 20, but I would like her initial energy to be increased with each upgrade. So at 0 start she has 1 initial energy, at 1 start she has 2 initial energy, at 2 start she has 3, and at 3 start she has 4 initial energy. She would immediately cast the skeletons. I feel like that would give even more purpose to upgrading the Witch. On top of that, I want Larry, the little skeleton, to have 0.85 attack speed because he attacks quite slow honestly and the skeletons are quite to the weaker side. And lastly, we have Mega Knight. To start off, I want to see his base HP be increased from 40 to 50, because as a tank he's pretty darn bad, and his third ability, completely rework it, it would be now Injury, you gain invulnerability for 3 seconds. Honestly, Mega Knight has a tank with Giants and all of the other guys, he's just way too bad. He's just horrible. And with these buffs, I hope that he becomes at least useful. And there you have it, all of my ideas for an emergency patch notes. If this would be a normal patch notes, it'd probably be a lot larger, but these are just the things that I believe that need to be addressed immediately. Did you like it? Do you have any ideas? And see you on the next video.